Right, okay guys, I'm done on the plot again. It's Thursday the 10th of August, and the only reason I've come down here is because my eldest daughter has asked if she can have some rhubarb. Well, yeah, she can she can have the lot if she wants. She's a chef come police officer, but a chef, trained as a chef, and went into police work a little bit later on in her life, which actually surprised us. But what I want to do first is, this is Trisha's plot. She's a new girl that took on this plot earlier this year, and she's got the most amazing apple tree there. And I mean, I've been on the plot for 2 years now, and we don't actually know what variety these apples are. So all we know of the variety of these apples is that they're really red, like you can see, and apart from that, nothing. I've looked in all the books, and there are that many apples that look like this. We can't tell what variety it is at all. So apart from sending it away, I'm actually appealing to people to give suggestions as to what variety it can be. We're actually lucky around here because we used to have a couple of mansions or halls that belonged to a duke, and they have a walled kitchen garden, and the RHS have just taken it over, and they're going to restore it into the original kitchen garden. So maybe if I take one of the apples down there and see one of the guys, they could actually tell us what variety they are. But that's a way off. I'm not going to do that until they've actually started work on the wall kitchen garden. They probably want me to volunteer to work on it for the information they're going to give me. The beans are coming on again. We've loads and loads of beans on this one now. I think we're running into the autumn glut. Where we're going to get loads and loads and loads and loads of beans. So much so that we don't know what to do with. But we're going to have to do something with them. Give them away. If any of my work colleagues want some, then they're quite welcome to them. The French beans, oh look, little bumblebee. Go on, you rest up there, because it's a little bit cold for you at the moment, isn't it? See, a little bit cold for you at the moment. But once the weather warms up, it'll be off flying around the flowers, pollinating and making more and more beans. Brassicas are doing well. I still need to extend the net on that, otherwise I'm going to get some form of butterfly laying its eggs on them, because it can get through the net now. I'm not actually down here to do anything today except pick rhubarb, but I thought I'd just give you a quick tour of the plot. All this lot, the Swiss chard and everything else, needs to come out. The grass is growing in here and plenty of weeds. You only need a little bit of rain and all the weeds start popping up. This bed here, it seems to be sinking now. We've had a little bit of rain. If you noticed, I put 10 bags of compost on there. I've also put some general fertiliser on the top. And I'm going to actually plant some more Swiss chard, which will see us through the winter, hopefully. This one, chard can go. Next time I'm down, I'll just compost that. Take the last of the spinach. The peas, they've gone over now. I've picked the last of the pods. Some of them have dried, so I'll use them for seed next year. As well as buying a new packet of seed just in case these ones don't germinate. But that's it basically. Carrots are doing well. Leeks are doing well. Apart from that runty one there that seems to be struggling, and the one that somebody's nicked, which is alright. They're entitled to it. I don't mind them taking one, but they could have asked permission first. Okay. Carrots, there we go. Oh, there's a weed in there. I'm going to have to take that out. Just hang on. Or is it? No, it's not a weed. It's a carrot that's actually bolted. So they must all be either ready for picking or, trying to go to seed. I don't know. Let's go and have a look what's happening in the greenhouse. The tomatoes are doing well. Can't see any sign of blossom end rot on them. Although I've not looked at all of them. I'm sure some of them will have blossom end rot. They're looking quite healthy, and may give us a crop, or they will give us a crop. They're not looking to ripen yet, no lads. Maybe at the end of the season I'll probably be harvesting green tomatoes, and that's not a bad thing. I just get the pan out and I'm going to turn it into green tomato chutney. I did do about 6 years ago when I grew tomatoes in Bulgaria. Some of them ripened, but the majority of them, or should I say the majority of them ripened, obviously because of the weather, but some of them didn't. And I just turned them into green tomato chutney, and we're still eating it basically, and the longer you leave it, the more tasty it is. So I'm not worried about that. I'll turn them into green tomato chutney if they don't ripen. This is what I've come for today, guys. This blooming rhubarb, look at it. It's like a jungle. I know it belongs to the Gunnerer family, but bloody hell, you don't expect it to grow that big. So, like I say, I'm going to chop the rhubarb, and I'm going to take some over to my eldest daughter. And it'd be a double bonus because I'll see the grandkids at the same time because they're all off school today. Although little George will probably want me to kick a ball around with him, and I'm not actually up to that yet. I'm not actually fit enough for that yet, due to my recent heart attack, as they put it down to. Although it didn't feel like I was having a heart attack at the time. So there we go. Right, I'll get back to you when I pick the rhubarb, and I'll show you what I'm going to do next. Okay guys, I've pulled all these stalks of rhubarb. I hope she's going to have enough with these. I mean, I could have given her more, but I don't want to overface her. Now the thing is, when you're harvesting rhubarb, you don't want to cut the ends, because you'll just cut it straight across, and that will leave a little stump on the crown, which will eventually get fungus in it and rot down into the crown and kill the whole crown of the plant. So what you do is you grab it as low to the base as possible and twist and pull, and you end up with a little sort of flat bit, which we call a tail on there. Okay, that's just a bit of advice there. Obviously, cut the leaves off. The leaves are full of oxalic acid, which is poisonous, so you don't want to use the leaves. You don't want to cook with the leaves. You don't want to eat the leaves. But what you can do is put them in the compost heap. That's fine. Or you can get a big bucket of water, and you can actually soak the leaves in the big bucket of water for a few weeks, and they will rot down and release all that oxalic acid. And if you dilute it in a spray bottle, it's actually an organic insecticide, which you could use next season. Right, I'm going to trim these. I'll get back to you when I've trimmed them off and let you know what they look like. Right, okay guys, as you can see, I've now trimmed all the rhubarb. The bottom end of the rhubarb, or the tail end of the rhubarb, is now in the compost bin. I'll leave that sometime next year and rot down. There's also some eggshells in there, which I keep putting in, and I don't know why, because I found out that if I actually dry them off in the oven and crush them up, they become like a little bit of calcium powder, and you can, they take a long time to rot down in the compost, but if you crush them up, you can actually put them in a planting hole, and it'll add calcium to the soil straight away. This is the trim rhubarb. This is the stuff that Laura's going to get. I hope she's got enough of it. If not, she can have some more, obviously, because that's over there. And these are the other ends, the toxic end of the rhubarb, the leaf, which when I get a chance I'll come back down, and I'll probably fill that dustbin up or something with water and put those in, stick some form of a lid on it and let them all rot down, and I'll use it as an organic insecticide next season. Just dial it down a little bit with some more water, put it in a spray bottle, and hopefully that'll stop black fly, it'll stop green fly, keep the ants off my beans. The clever little buggers, ants. I've noticed they've been harvesting the green fly and the black fly for something that's called honeydew, or something that they excrete out to the backsides, and the ants use this, and in return they protect the aphids. And I've noticed on some occasions that ladybirds have been landing on to munch the aphids. The ants have actually just swarmed round them and seen them off. So, you know, wonderful, isn't it, nature? You watch it up close, it's quite good. So there we go, that's it for now. Apart from, we've had a bit of rain, like I said, and apart from hoeing this top half, can you see the weeds have just come back, especially all this grass, which is, I don't know what I'm going to do about this. The more I hoe it, the more grass I get, so I don't really want to dig it over because it's already been dug over once, and I think that will be sort of defeating the object. But never mind, we'll get it sorted over the next couple of weeks, and we'll take it from there, see what happens. I've got some green manure which I want to sow in this top half, A, to stop the weeds coming up over winter, and B, to stop the erosion of the soil over winter as well. And of course the great thing about green manure is you chop it all down in the spring, give it a few weeks to rot down, rotivate it or dig it in, whichever is your preference, and it will add substance and fibre to the soil, making it more and more every year like a loam rather than the clay soil that it is, which is not that free draining. Alright, that's it guys, I'm going to leave you now, head back home, get ready for my daughter to come with the grandkids, and hopefully, if time allows, see you sometime during the weekend.